Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're watching Rust Eater Bisco. Today, or rather, last time, uh, a giant robot appeared, started making everything explode, and the heroes could do literally nothing about it. The world is doomed, another age of rust is upon them, and now we're going to watch the tragedy unfold as the last of the human race dies, right?
Now
I think that's
this
exactly what's going to happen. That's
this
this kind of show,
is
right?
the penultimate episode. It's worth noting.
Ooh. Alright, so they got another episode after this of dying off, and that's where, the last two will embrace and go, this is the last hurrah of the human race, and then they die, right?
Well, I guess it could be where the rust covers the earth and we all join as one unimind,
hmm
so that we can then be assured that we were okay with how our dad thought about us.
so so that would, if this was a different show, I'd probably be saying that. I've seen anime that has done that, but usually they are more depressing from the get-go. This is kind of a more upbeat action kind of thing, though. So there's two things that this is the penultimate. Either one, they beat it this episode, and the next episode is like a lot of wrap up, time elapse, and epilogue, right? Or they literally don't accomplish anything this time, and they accomplish it next time as like the finale.
I mean, nothing that they've done really has been affecting it, other than I guess shooting it with mushrooms just made it stop for a moment and then it shedded the mushrooms away.
Right. Funnily enough, for a giant robot, it seems to be like organic, kind of? Question mark. You
Well,
get that feel?
it's absorbed the personality of that bad guy with the one arm, whose name I can't remember, because he's shouting Akubitsky, or I can't remember his name. So, Bisco's first name, his actual first name, he's shouting it.
I think it's Akabashi.
It's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Right. But let's see. But he feels pain as a giant robot, mostly composed of liquid rust, right?
Unknown. I have no idea if it feels pain.
Well, he seemed to react that way.
He's screaming no matter what. He was screaming before anybody even shot at him.
Yeah, okay, that's fair actually. Just constantly screaming. Yeah, I guess you kind of get that if you become suddenly a giant robot of death.
We didn't see it in the past in the flashback where Tokyo exploded, so we have no previous experience to know what it's like normally.
hmm Right. We got what we got, and the heroes are going to try to stop it. And the way that this show works, I have no prediction of how they're going to possibly do that. I can't imagine it because it's going to make a new thing.
Well, you've already
It is go.
predicted something for this episode.
Oh, I suppose we did.
No, you did. I didn't.
Did
You did.
I? Wait, when?
Last episode,
What was it?
Squid Girl was gonna die.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's been important. She's around. She's probably gonna get stomped. She's gonna bring out a cool explosive. It's gonna be cool for a moment. Her plane's gonna get swatted down or something.
I think I disagreed that she wasn't gonna die, but all I remember is you said she was going to die.
Felt like the thing. I guess it really depends on like how upbeat do you think the ending is going to be?
Well, they created a love triangle, and then they killed half a third of the
Mhm.
love triangle. So I don't know. It really seems a happy-go-lucky show so far. By the
Oh
way,
yeah,
half
for
the
sure.
characters are dying of a long-term illness which causes them physical pain. Oh, that
But
Bisco. Such
notably
a
not
fun,
the
fun show.
but notably not the two, Milo and Squid Girl, who actually are the last part of that
Oh
triangle.
yeah, Squid Girl. She just had an internal parasite as big as her body, eating her from the inside.
Ah, she's fine. She got over it.
I got better.
What's a little parasite between friends? So let's see. So I think we've laid out like as much as we possibly can. I guess we just gotta see how it happens.
All right.
遅い本当にこれで最高速度かあんたのバイクが異常なんだよでうわ
You know, for a post-apocalyptic highway, that's pretty clean.
それは
I mean, those might have just been all the tanks we saw last episode.
And I gotta say, driving away from the problem, good solution.
They're probably driving towards the problem.
運転に集中せんかよこせ私が読むダメだってば離してよ危ないって
This is kind of more amusing considering that they've literally been co-workers before.
Yeah, but she wouldn't know that.
言っておくがまだお前を弟の友人と信用したわけではないぞ
Yeah, no one else is convinced either, really.
見返りもなしにここまでするものか
When she trusted Bisco the moment that he threw Milo to the ground, so...
Exactly, she's not violent enough. Never mind that she's literally used RPGs in the past.
ミロすぐに行くからなそれまで無事でいてくれ
You know, I'm thinking for a second, if they're trying to catch up with the truck, does that mean that the crab is actually faster than a truck on a highway?
Probably.
Is amusing to think.
Not for any good reasons, because they wrote it that way.
More amusing is that all of their camp gear has remained perfectly packed despite their crab being completely smothered here and tossed around.
機械人形が爆発して世界が滅んだってのもどうやらおとぎ話じゃねえらしいな。
Yeah, no, it seems pretty real about now.
鉄人からは古代人どもがこぞって追い求めた何かへの猛襲のようなもんを感じるわい。
猛襲ですか。
あの圧倒的な力を見たろう。金属だけでなくあらゆるものを錆びさせる。植物も動物も人も。
Oh yeah, everything oxidizes.
That's not a rust effect, though.
It's horrifying. Yeah, hell yeah, it is.
I'm saying flesh doesn't rust. It's a different effect. It has its own word.
でもサビクイはそれを食べる。サビが生命に作用する力を利用してるんだ。サビが死神なら、サビクイは。
さしずめ、死神食いといったところじゃな。
Ah, Shinigami.
Oh, I can't wait for this to turn into the reboot of Bleach. I'll tell you this much.
Of course, Milo was the first Quincy.
I will give this show a 10 out of 10 if the very last episode has a kid with red hair and a black kimono rush out with a sword as large as he is.
I was never much into it, but I can appreciate the reference.
Let me take this art style and then add the music of Bleach, and I think you'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think that would fit, actually. They're both very action-oriented shows, so...
And now
as long as you lined it
to
up.
turn back into the heel of Stoneface Reactions. And then we'll just replace the story of Bisco with that of Bleach, too.
He's not dead, he just passed his soul along. He's an infectious spirit.
I guess if it worked for Star Trek, it could work for Bisco.
I mean, he's also not wrong. Milo's attitude has very much changed to be very much like, Bisco.
No, I just mean, Bisco transfers a part of his soul into Milo. Milo then grows a mushroom that looks like Bisco, and it transfers the soul back. I keep calling it, that's... I see the show stupid enough to do that sort of thing.
Oh gosh, yeah. I was about to say, oh, they survived that. No, they're statues now.
You know, not once has this robot said, "I'm back."
No, you're not. You literally coughed blood. I think it's like the third injection he's gotten for this, right?
Yeah, which is more than they had. There's the kids.
Oh, you're right. It does have like the big scary face.
It's a traitor. He's just really far away or really close. It's hard to tell.
No, I'd be hilarious. The giant robot pulls up and goes, "You got any chips?" Oh, these kids are so dead.
鉄人だ骨格がこの町そっくりだあれは生きた鉄人だよナツ距離は
Yeah, no, that's about the right reaction. Just nuts.
まっすぐこっちに向かってくるよこのままじゃこの町ぶっ壊されちまうぜ戦おうっていうのあんなのにかなうわけないじゃないだからってよ先祖代々守ってきた町なんだぞ
Kid, you got like some determination, but it is a giant apocalypse robot.
この町を壊されたくない気持ちは僕もみんなも同じだよでもカルベロの魂は町じゃなくて僕らに宿ってる何度潰されたって立て直せるよナッツと僕らなら
And then the laser beam hits them.
赤星と会ってから生意気言う
Ah, dang, they missed the moment.
コウスケあ、ごめん者ども引き上げじゃ急
There's
げ
also literally nothing around their town for like miles, so this thing
That is true.
would see them moving.
It is just salt flats, after all. Though, I'm increasingly surprised that my first guess about what was going to happen this episode is becoming more and more right. It's just everyone's dying. Wow, they actually rigged the whole place to explode.
No,
Yeah.
there's those traps that they had that you saw last episode they were in.
I must have missed those in particular.
It was a particularly boring episode.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
死にに行く気そんなのダメだよナッツ行かせない
Kid, you ain't gonna run up and smack it from 5 miles off.
見せちゃるナッツ
Okay, well, he's gonna run 5 miles for it.
カルベロが一番盛り白芸釣りのナッツがいてぜかかってけ日本釣りにしたのさ行こうでも
I feel like they're really saving money on animation by having his mouth covered.
As a tale as old as time right there, honestly. Shout out to the good old days of .hack sign where you just see the characters' backs sitting down, not moving, and the camera just slowly pans for like 5 minutes. He's alive? Okay, there's a reason.
白パンダ
I mean, there's still not a reason why he's alive. None of the mushrooms before could stop the laser beams, so...
その強大な力ですら結局お前を救えなかったでも安心しな黒か俺がお前にきっちりケリをつけてやるさあ続きをやろうぜ
Man, we're only halfway through. Okay, maybe he did recently just invent this thing, and now it's working.
Yeah. that's called? The opposite of payoff. You remember the part where he didn't build up coming up with a solution to a problem that he had? And instead just showed a solution to the problem that he had? Anti-payoff.
Or maybe he's invented nothing new and he's just using the same tactic and delaying. Is the crab just immune, actually?
No, I doubt it. People in spacesuits weren't immune.
Also, I'm also starting to wonder about the laser beam. It seems like far more conventional.
Also, how like
In
the
this
shit went from a
episode.
truck to a plane.
I guess they drove to a plane.
And then kept driving in the truck. And then the plane and the truck got there at the same time. Because planes and
Okay,
trucks
yeah.
are the same speed.
That part is actually confusing.
意味浜事件が来る子供たちは彼らに任せろ
Historically, tanks have worked just well.
Yeah, this is going to be more effective this time.
And again, missiles, which didn't even stop Bisco.
I was about to say, it's like, oh, they staggered him an inch. Like, nah, he was just turning. He didn't even destroy them. He's just like turning his back to him and get moving on. Oh, hey, it's the girls again.
Wonder if she ever sold her dolls.
あんたたちサボってないで仕事仕事
Stop slacking it to work. There's nobody there.
Yeah, I wonder if rust is a sexually transmitted disease too.
もう一息だ見ろ
Because it's a bloodborne disease. And it's obviously also transmitted by touch.
Well, nobody seems to get it just being around them. Like, treating them seems to work fine.
Well, it's hard to tell.
So it's
because
not
it
airborne.
seems like it is. No, I'm saying it is airborne. That's why I'm saying it's hard to tell.
It's airborne in certain stages, but not others, and not everyone has it.
So you gotta remember, that's what he's doing right now. He's pushing it into the air.
And then they also explode, man.
And a giant face comes out, and it's the mummy!
Oh, what a change of pace. Oh, it's the Scorpion King. Ah, it's Imhotep.
Give me back the Book of the Dead!
Return the slab. You know, as far as robot designs go, having a giant fan the size of the entire chest cavity is probably appropriate for the amount of heat a robot that big is going to generate. Looks like they got wedged in. They're gonna have to go find a piece of wood to like prop up their tire real quick to get out of that divot. Oh, he's poisoning himself. Okay.
僕がビスコだったら止めますかパウを頼みます
Everyone is gonna die.
I mean, that was my prediction a long time ago, so... I've apparently also just gone against my own prediction.
Alright, well, we got the whole city here. What's your prediction for everyone dying? Aegis really doesn't like merry-go-rounds.
Sorry, that beat in the background, that bum 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 bum, sounded so not coming from the headphones. It sounded like it was coming from around me. Like, what the,
The
hell?
robot is in your house.
Well, I have neighbors that do, like, outdoor work and whatnot, so it's like, is that them? Where's that coming from?
Oh, that's fair, that's fair.
I was gonna say that the robot has a attack that takes out cities, remember? So,
Oh, yeah. It's what it's made for.
お前の相手は俺だと言ったはずだ黒か
見てパンダ先生
and then All Might looked at the camera and said, "Now it's your turn."
I gotta, like, just imagine the perspective of the townsfolk, where the nicest, gentlest guy they've ever really known, who, like, always helps them out, is now an action hero fighting a giant robot on their behalf that seems like Doomsday.
How about
That has gotta be the most confusing thing ever.
how about where's the cameraman for that shot?
You know, that's a good question, too. But I'm gonna say this is some very aggressively good reporting.
I mean, it's a wide open desert. We can see that.
I guess they're on top of the wall there.
Bisco もこんな気持ちでいたのかな今なら撃てるよビスコみたいに
Alright, is it just gonna be one really good shot, or what you got, man? Uh-oh.
That tiny little knife. That's really what did him in.
Just a tad silly, considering there's not, like, vital organs on it, but, again, more evidence that it just outright feels pain for some reason.
Oh yeah, sure. All the tank shells, the missiles, anything. None of that did anything. It was that tiny little knife.
Oh, he actually cut, like, the most important power cord of all just purely on accident in aggressive rage.
Bisco. Bisco.
Oh, no, never mind, it did nothing. That is a
no!
death.
Took out the cameraman.
Ah. Oh, that... Yeah, that is death, actually.
Oh, here comes the city destroying shot. Oh, you fucking gotta be kidding me.
He was never dead.
Yeah, despite being swallowed by lava.
Oh, but now Milo is dead. Oh no. The love triangle.
Sorry, I'd rolled my eyes, but I really am incapable of... I feel like if I rolled my eyes as hard as they do,
Oh,
to,
no,
they
he's
would
alive.
explode.
The only thing that melted was his shirt.
No, I also got my arm back. How about that, too?
聞こえたあの世の手前で呼んだだろ
This awesome music is well undeserved.
I definitely want an explanation. Oh, he's just made out of rust now.
Again, the music is awesome. I'm gonna give it that.
弓に大切なことは2つ。1つは
First,
よ
be
く見ること。
immortal.
1つは信じること。
Lots of flashbacks.
弓矢の2人。当たるよ、ビスコ。
Yeah, I don't think faith is a huge actual component of archery, but you know what? I'll roll with it.
I mean, why not? You basically have to roll with anything in a show that has no stakes. It is extremely disappointing if you have the audacity to show us the main character dying, and then have a whole emotional "I love you" scene to go with that death, and then bring the character back 2 episodes later, with his arm back no less, because mushrooms can do anything.
I'm certainly confused by the mechanics at play, but I mean, like the boss guy is basically in charge of the robot. Some part of him is in there too, right? That was already telegraphed. At the
I was
very
starting
least.
to assume that the boss might have been a robot himself or something like that, and then his consciousness got transferred, because, like, we saw his arm
He's
get
just a
blown off.
Terminator.
Well, we saw it. Well, that would go well with the "I'll be back" thing. Say that because he's a robot. We saw his arm get blown off, but we never saw that
Gosh.
the rest of him wasn't prosthetic as well.
I want a setting with that assumption now. Just like, yeah, there's a bunch of evil robots who killed society, and now they're just like hanging out, pretending to be humans because they're bored.
Well, and then he started trying to use mushrooms to mind control humans. It's like maybe he's just doing the next thing, right? I'm just saying that that was my possible presumption of what was going on there. At the same time, also, Bisco was like surrounded by material and had to be cut out, which means he was not breathing for all that time either.
My assumption right now is that this Bisco is not real. Like we were joking about the one-up mushroom right now, but like he basically grew out of there is like my assumption. We literally saw him burning.
Yeah,
his
but
clothes
then we
seems
also
fine
saw
for some
his
reason.
goggles.
Yeah, all of his equipment seems like it's at least fine.
Yeah, that inorganic material that probably wouldn't have grown from.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying is no stakes. The show has no stakes anymore.
Did he have tattoos?
On his face.
Somehow it preserved the tattoos.
Also inorganic material.
Right. But yeah, my assumption is that he's made out of whatever goo that the robot is made out of now.
Maybe Bisco was never alive to begin with. Maybe Bisco was also a Terminator.
He was a mushroom from the very beginning.
Like I said, at this point, literally anything you could say could be true. Bisco was actually an alien. All mushroom keepers are aliens. This world takes place in an alternate reality, right? And
We
Bisco
gotta
is
go
from
back
our...
and stop the Tanners.
Bisco got saved by Rick from Rick and Morty. I mean, anything could be in play at this point, because if no stakes, if anything is possible, then nothing matters, right?
Mhm.
So if Bisco can just die and come back, and this is not a world with magic, right? Because it's not, as far as I know.
Right.
God
at
didn't
least
resurrect him.
At least for 95% of the episode, it was fun just watching the crew go around trying to save people and basically kind of having a back and forth, we are losing and not really gaining ground kind of thing going on. That was fun for a while. I genuinely thought like, oh yeah, that everyone will die.
Unfortunately, I'm going to disagree with you and again be the heel and say only 5% of this episode was fun.
Oh really? Which part was the funnest part for you?
The introduction of the 2 girls in the truck. 2 girls, 1 truck.
Oh yeah, no, that was definitely fun.
Fighting over the maps, swerving on the highway. You know, it's the first time we've seen those 2 together, and that was fun. And then the rest of it was things we've already seen before. We've already seen the jets flying around shooting missiles. They did it to Bisco in episode 1 or 2. 1. It was in episode 1.
Right, they're bringing it back because, like, wait a second, if they have these things, why aren't they using it? The answer, they can't help this.
We already saw the tanks fire at this thing in episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the guys in the spacesuits get hit. I'm sorry, not episode 2, last episode. We already see the guys in the spacesuits get hit by this thing last episode. Everything that happened in this episode, except for, say, 15%, has already happened in either previous episodes or the last episode. It's not interesting, and then it's a slap in the face to see the events of 2 episodes ago completely undone with little to no explanation. Like, this is the whole conversation we had in the middle of the episode. I said in the middle of the episode about payoff, build up and payoff. You remember when he had to stress about signing a solution? Okay, let's go back. Milo is a scientist. He brought the equipment from town, those God, I can't remember what they're called, like centrifuge looking things, so that he could do testing on materials along the way. By the way, none of that happened. We only saw those centrifuges one more time, and I want to say 4 episodes ago. Back when
it
Milo
became
was
unimportant to the story, that's for sure.
when Milo was cooking dinner for Bisco, they just happened to be in the trailer. We haven't used them or anything like that, but we haven't seen Milo do anything scientific either. And then he doesn't, in the not doing anything scientific, he then also doesn't solve problems. Problems are solved. They don't solve problems. Does that make sense?
A little bit. I guess, like, it's the assumption that he, like, used the equipment later on to make, like, the Rust Eater serum or whatever, but, you know, it's not a feature of it. The feature is the action, the feature is, like, whatever emotion is happening on screen, right?
Not always. I mean, in fact, not most of the time. I think there's entire episodes we had no action.
Right, and then there's the emotions that are on scene, you know, like the I love you part, all the build up, all the talking, that stuff, right?
Yeah, but I'm not attracted to a pretty face, is what I'm getting at here. Is that if there's no substance to the character, then I've got nothing to attach to. And instead of doing any amount of character building, they're just throwing things they're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Well, we still got one more episode, and maybe they'll give us a final explanation for the one-up shroom.
You know, I'm sure that they'll show something, but I'm also 100% sure they'll defeat the creature. Everyone will love Bisco. It'll be the crowd cheers, and then at the end of the episode, a bunch of them go their separate ways because they're still going to wander the wastelands because Bisco the manga continues on from here, I'm sure. And then we get into the next arc, and possibly a season 2.
Yep. Alright then. Well, that's a bit of a downer to end on, but I guess we'll go ahead and end our commentary there.
I mean, to be fair, the expectation of the show went trailer, first episode, second episode, and the rest of the series.
It's just constantly up and down for you.
No, like I said, it went up, and then it went way down, and then it was the wave.
Alright then. Well, I think that's going to be it for the commentary for this episode. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we will catch you next time, next Stone Face Reaction. See you, everybody. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone Face Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?